Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back looking at the planned BR changes, and this time it's time to have a look at all of the aviation ones. There is an absolute metric ton of them, so what I'm going to do is split these videos into at least two. The first one, which is this one, we'll have a look at the propeller changes, and the second one we'll have a look at the jet changes. I've seen a lot of discussions around the jet changes, but I think there's a lot of propeller changes which are all over the place as well. When it comes to ground and naval, I think most of the changes make sense when it comes to at least the way I see the game. When it comes to aviation, it's a little bit more all over the place, and maybe due to some reasons. I have some personal experience at some of the BRs that are probably the most turbulent recently, so we'll have a look and we'll have a see. The first lot is from lower tier, and it starts off with the Arado 196A3, the little float plane. It's actually going up to 1.7 from 1.3. This is kind of a surprise. I thought the vehicle itself was quite heavy, didn't have a great armament, and kind of fit 1.3 pretty well, but I'm guessing the airspawn that it gets is giving it that little bit of an extra edge, and also, obviously, you have naval forces which move it around as well. Maybe people are using it there to be quite powerful, capping zones, especially on the larger maps. It might be pretty good for that. Marcolin CR42CN, this is the German version, the premium. It is going from 1.3 to 1.7, so not a surprise for me. The CR42 is one of the best biplanes in the game. It isn't the most maneuverable, but it has really good armament and also is quite fast for a biplane. So to see it go up, I think is fine. It's not going to make too much of a difference. The machine should be alright. The D.520 is next. It's going from 1.3 to 1.7. I've never really enjoyed the D.520, got to be honest with you. It's not too much of a fun vehicle. I don't really like a lot of the lower tier French, and to see it go up, I don't think its engine power is good enough, so that's kind of a surprise. The A5M4 is in the same boat, going from 1.3 to 1.7. That is another machine which really doesn't have great engine power at all. And the HE112A-0, this machine is also going from 1.3 to 1.7. Maybe the idea of these changes is to try and take a little bit away from the lower tiers in the way of making it so, what would be the word? Making it so 1.0 is a little bit more stable, but I don't think this is actually going to work. So, because generally 1.3s get dragged into 2.0, 2.3 matches anyway. The JU87R2, the Italian version, and also the German version, they're going from 1.3 to 1.0. The JU87s are probably the set of vehicles that have changed the most over the last few years. They have lost so many BR ranks, it's kind of insane when you think about it. And I think this is warranted. The vehicle is slow, it's cumbersome. Sometimes in ground forces, it can get a pretty nice bomb off, but the vast majority of the time, you're not very useful. And in air forces, you're not great at all. The V156B1 also follows it down, so 1.3 to 1.0. I think this is fine as well. The vehicle itself is not a great machine because it doesn't have access to any decent secondary on it. If this gives a new lease of life, whether it be in naval or whether it be in ground, this is a fantastic change. The Farman is finally going up, praise the Lord. It's going from 1.7 to 2.0. The Farman is an insane bomber. It can literally win the game by itself, and when you have like a 3-stack of it, you can win the game, depending on the map of course, in about 5 minutes. It's an insane machine, and to see it go from 1.7 to 2.0 is very nice. It's good that it's doing that. I generally think that is a positive change. Very, very happy to see it. And the TBD is going down from 1.3 to 1.0, following the trend that we've seen of the light bombers reducing even more in BR across the board. And following that trend, the Beaufort, the Mark 8, is doing the same, going from 1.7 to 1.3, and the Blenheim is also going from 1.7 to 1.3. So these light bombers are really, in a bit of a rough place, is probably the best way to put it when it comes to these vehicles. And it doesn't surprise me because, as somebody who's played them, they've never really fit properly in War Thunder. Because they don't either have the really good bomb load, or the really good defenses, or the good speed. They're very much jack of all trades, master of none vehicles, and the greatest version of this to talk about is the PE3s. The PE3s are exactly that, unfortunately. The Key 45 Hay is going from 2.3 to 2.7. The Key 45s, I'm surprised to see the Hay go up. The armament on it isn't the best. I have seen over the years the Key 45s go down and down and down in BR. I'm guessing that specific one is doing well for some reason, but I've always favored the Co over pretty much all of them. It's not just one of the lowest BR ones, it is also one with one of the best armaments. The Hay is the one with the 37, and I've always found that pretty troubling. It doesn't seem to work too well, but maybe somebody's making it work. The P108 Series 2 goes down once again from 2.3 to 2.0. As I've said many times, this vehicle could be 1.0 and it'll still be trash. It's literally designed around a gimmick, and the gimmick is trash in the game. I don't know how else to put it. Big donkey guns don't work in War Thunder. And also, to talk about another donkey gun that's going down, the Key 109. Maybe at 1.7 it'll work now. It hasn't worked at any other BR, so maybe now it'll work. Highly doubt it. It's not a good vehicle. Never will be. So, seeing it go down, not a surprise again. I'm pretty sure it's going to go down until it gets to 1.0, like the Ju-87s. Then it may actually be able to outperform something. The I-16 Type 10 is going from 1.7 to 2.0. Kind of a surprise on that one, mainly because I thought the I-16s were pretty well balanced where they are. Very odd to see them move around. The SB2M100 going from 1.3 to 1.0 as well. Surprised by that one. I know its engines aren't the best, but it's got good defensive armament and a decent bomb load for its side. The Hampton is also going down from 1.7 to 1.3. That is surprising. Because that has a really good bomb load. Never mind, it isn't the Hampton, it's the TBF-1C. That makes complete sense. that thing is going down. The Hampton is going down by to 1.3 in arcade, which obviously I don't have too much of an opinion on. The Key 45 Otsu goes down from 2.3 to 2.0. So this is the weird thing, right? With the Hay going up and the Otsu actually going down, and the Otsu has access to the 37 and the 212s. Technically, it has slightly better armament than the Hay, so this could just be a straight statistical, decision, which, would make the most sense when looking at them. The Uhu, the Focke-Wulf 189A1, is going from 1.7 to 2.0. I'm pretty sure this is because of two reasons. It gets a bomber spawn for some reason. No idea why it does. The bomber spawn is kind of insane on it. And also, it's very maneuverable. So it doesn't have great armament, it doesn't have great bombs, but it's stupidly maneuverable, and obviously this helps it out quite a lot. The Ju-87D3 for the Italians and the Germans is going down from 2.0 to 1.7, so this will be useful in a few more ground lineups and naval lineups, but generally I don't think will be a very good vehicle. The Hurricane Mark II-B Trop going from 2.0 to 2.3, not a surprise here. The Hurricane Mark II-B is a beautiful aircraft. It flies supremely well. The only thing you got to watch out for is the engine overheating, which is easily manageable if you keep on top of it. It's one of my favorite planes to play in the game, so to see it go up is, not a surprise, even if not a bit sad. The FC-20 BIS is going from 2.0 to 1.7. That kind of annoys me. I don't think this thing needs to go down. The FC-20 BIS is one of those which, when it first came to the game, I thought was actually a pretty good vehicle. When I played it out, it was actually a decent amount of fun. You know, it has access to the 37, which has a good rate, and then also the two 12.7s. Thought it was a pretty decent ground pounder. So to see it go down, kind of surprised. Maybe it just wasn't doing the job that it needed to do. It did have access to the bombs as well, so maybe people are trying to use it as a fighter, or maybe they're trying to make it a fighter, but it's not. It's an attacker. The SU-2 TSS-1 goes down from 2.0 to 1.7, following a lot of the SU-2s down in BR over the years. SB2M 103MV MV3 is going from 1.3 to 1.7, and so is the SU-2 MV5. So once again, a lot of light bombers moving down in BR over and over and over again, showing that they don't really fit when it comes to the general meta. The Martin 167A3 also moving down, large cumbersome machine with not a great bomb load, so not a surprise to see that move down. Then you have the HS129B3, it's going from 2.3 to 2.0. Didn't this vehicle just get moved down? it's another donkey gun vehicle. So of course it's going to go down in BR. You know, the donkey gun vehicles, they just don't work from the air. There's very few that actually work very well. So not too much of a surprise to see it go down. D4Y1 also going down. That thing is a great support fighter, but it's a terrible strike attack aircraft. The Breda 88 going down as well. Weak engines, weak abilities to ground pound. I think it recently went down, now it's going down again. They're really trying to make people do well in these light bombers / strike aircrafts at lower tier. It's not going to work. The bombers are way too powerful and do way too much stuff. The PBM Mariner going from 2.0 to 2.3, not a surprise at all. It's got a really good bomb load and also generally good survivability from the guns. I'm kind of surprised that we don't see the event one go up because it has that mine loadout now, and that is crazy strong. The PE3 goes from 2.0 to 1.7, same issues as I said before with this thing. You know, the PE3s are jack of all trades, master of none, and because of that, they don't fit in realistic, which is a shame. Only specific vehicles with very powerful talents are meta in realistic, and a lot of these things aren't that. The Potez 630 goes up in BR, probably because it's ground performance. It's pretty good in ground realistic, works really well, has good setups for it. The Sunderland Mark V is going from 2.0 to 2.3. So the Sunderland is one of those very dodgy machines because it doesn't have a good bomb load, but it has insanely good defense and actually offense against planes. So you can actually use it as kind of a gunship. And because you're faster than a lot of machines, they can't catch you and you can just keep gunning them down. So not surprised to see it go up just because of that reason, trying to take a little bit of pressure off the low tier. D4Y2 also goes down from 2.3 to 2.0 following its brother, and then the G2 JU87 is going from 1.7 to 1.3, so once again not a surprise. The MB174A3 gone from 2.7 to 2.32, I'm not shocked. It's the same pattern we've seen with all of these machines that we've just talked about. Light and strike aircraft at lower tiers are going down. Medium bombers, heavy bombers are going up. The SM-79 Series 4 for Germany is going down from 2.3 to 2.0. The SM-79s have been going down over and over and over again. And I'm not surprised. You know, they're quite fun aircraft to fly because they have the offensive gun on them, or at least most of them do. They also have, or at least some of them have, funny torpedoes. But if you actually just look at them, you know, the engines are really weak. If one gets taken out, you're done. And also at the same time, they have pretty bad bomb loads. So not a surprise to them going down. I enjoy flying them though, just because they are different from a lot of other bombers. C202 is going up for Germany, 2.3 to 2.7. No surprise there. It's a very good aircraft. It's actually one of the aircraft I would say is great for learning in the game. It's really good for understanding different ways to fight in planes, kind of like the BF-109E1 as well. The BF-109F1 is going from 2.3 to 2.7. I've always thought that plane had issues with engine overheat. Maybe they fixed that, or maybe it's different, but surprised to see that one go up because of that. B6N2 is going from 2.3 to 2.0, following the trend we talked about. Same with the IL-2 1941, going down in BR. All of these benefit naval, ground, and also aerialistic, so hopefully they find a place in the game now. Reggiani 2002 early, going from 2.3 to 2.0. That's kind of a surprise to me. That vehicle has really good flight characteristics, very much a surprise on that one. The I-16 Type 24, the 2.3 going to 2.7. Why? That's the one with the cannons, right? The Type 24? Or maybe it's the one with the Shikasas. The I-16 is super maneuverable aircraft, but they have real problems because you can just outrun them and turn, and that's really about it. This is the one with the 4762 Shikasas. Okay, so this makes a bit more sense than the other one, because at 2.7, like the machine is highly maneuverable, so you can see like people running in circles around people trying to turn fight them. This is definitely one of those like skill issue things we talk about, where, you know, an experienced player would look at an I-16 and they would just run it out of energy and then kill it, whereas maybe a not experienced player would try turn fighting it and get annihilated. The lag 335 is going from 2.3 to 2.0. The lags in general for me have always felt very heavy and cumbersome to move around, so see it go down, not a surprise. The NC 223.3 is going up in BR once again. Good. That and the Farman are insanely good bombers, and I'm happy that finally, after years, they are finally increasing in BR. It's going from 2.7 to 3.0. The I-16 Type 17, 2.7 to 3.0. Who is doing crazy good in the I-16s? Who's doing this? Who's the person who is just annihilating everyone in them? Yeah, this is the 20mm one as well, so it's not even as maneuverable. So who's playing that? Like, God damn it. The Type 17. Like, the vehicle itself, right? So the whole thing about the I-16 is it's a very maneuverable aircraft because it's light as hell and you can throw it around the air. Once you attach the 20mm onto it, that goes away. So you lose, like, the one advantage you have. And you have to basically head on people, or you have, like, 2 or 3 good turns. And that's it. And it's going up in BR. That's crazy to me. The Spitfire Mark 2A is going up from 2.7 to 3.0. No surprise to me. That machine is insanely good. You know, good rate of climb, very good turn. The letdown it has is the guns, but you can work around that because you have so much ammo. The dive speed isn't great as well, but you can mitigate that through proper use of descending. The D.520 and also the D.521, they're going from 2.7 to 3.0. Am I missing something with those aircraft? I've spaded all of them. Like, I have both of those for Britain and the D.520 for France. I can't stand them as vehicles. I cannot stand them. They feel heavy. Their guns, you know, obviously you get a little bit of 20mm, which is nice, but in true French fashion, it doesn't let you finish before it screws you. And you just don't have enough rounds to carry games. The 7.5s are rubbish. They hardly do anything. Who is doing well in these things? They're not good to fly. I don't know how else to put it. So yeah, and the Firecrest goes down again. God damn it. The Firecrest is a perfectly good aircraft with good flight characteristics. The only thing it struggles with is its armament, and it's sad to see it keep going down because of that fact. The Firecrest is good. You know, if you haven't got a squadron vehicle or you're working on one, the Firecrest is cheap, it's fun to use, and I have no idea why it keeps going down, but the more it goes down, the better it gets. The Emil 3, the BF-109, is going from 2.7 to 2.3 as well, so they're moving that thing down. I always thought it was a fantastic aircraft, the E3, but I haven't played it in a while, so maybe that's changed. The Ju-88C6, 2.7 to 2.3, must have been getting massacred by fighters or strike aircraft or whatever is now spawning in the air. The Wellington is going from 2.7 to 2.3, the Mark 1 CL. Not a surprise, the Wellingtons are way too easy to kill in the game. Key 61 Otsu going up again from 3.0 to 3.3. Thank God it's not the other ones, I suppose, but still, that one's a rough one. The Beaufighter Mark 6C is going from 3.0 to 2.7. After the FM change, for years ago, the Beaufighter was never the same. You know, if you ever played the game back in the day, especially in arcade or early realistic, you would know how strong the Beaufighter was. It was an insane machine, a super machine, some may say. Nowadays, not so much. It's fat. The P39 N-0, 3.0 to 2.7. Same with the A20G, and also the G25, and also the IL-242 going down. P3 also going down, and the BF-110C7 going down. All of those going from 3.0 to 2.7. I disagree with the P39N, the BF-110 as well. I can more understand the BF-110. The other ones make sense to me. The A20, I don't want the A20 to get back to what it used to be, which was a gunship where it could just run away from you and then you couldn't kill it. I'm sure that won't happen, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. The Hurricane Mark 2B for the Soviets is going up from 3.0 to 3.3. It has Shavaks, so not a surprise to see that go up. The Mark 2B as well is going up. The Spitfire from 3.0 to 3.3. And once again, not a surprise. Same reasoning as the Spitfire Mark 2A. The Ju-88A4 is going up in BR. I'm going to have to rack my brain for that one. I don't agree with that one. The Ju-88 is like okay at everything at its BR, but it's not the best. So someone must be doing very well in it for that to happen. The ME410A1U4, this machine is going from 3.3 to 3.0. The ME410s have had their march downwards for a very long time. Same reason for pretty much all of these different vehicles. Their weaponry and armament is very cumbersome to actually use in the game properly, and that's a problem. The Mosquito is going down in BR2, the FB Mark 18. It's going from 3.0 to 2.7. This machine, it's the one with the 57 on it. It's nowhere near as good as the other one. You know, its role that it's designed for is not in the game, and also it doesn't do very well against ground units. So yeah, seeing that go down, not too much of a surprise. Beaufighter Mark 10 going down as well, 3.3 to 3.0. That might be actually not a bad vehicle to go for, to Spade. It has some pretty fun secondary armaments, and the IL-4 is going from 3.0 to 2.7 as well. Very much a surprise on that front. A lot of other changes, such as the H8K2, is going from 3.3 to 3.7. There's a H8 which is rank 1 still. They need to move that thing to rank 2. Because its BR makes no sense at the rank 1, and also its research cost makes no sense either. So that needs to be fixed. The Zero going up to 3.3, 3.7, along with the Chinese and the USA one, the A6M2. No surprise, highly maneuverable vehicle. A6Ms are supremely fun to play. And I would always advise people to give them a go, just because they act like alien aircraft, because they hardly lose energy. The Ki-45 Hei and Tei, the Chinese one, the premium is going down, 3.3 to 3.0. It still is the best of both worlds of all the Ki-45s, but it's still a Ki-45. The P3 BIS, P283, both of them are going down, 3.3 to 3.0. Same reasoning as the P3s from before. P39Q5, 3.3, 3.0, I disagree with this. The P39s are in fine position, so they don't need to be moved down. The SB2C 1C is going from 3.3 to 3.0. It's not needed. It's a very good bomber. It's probably one of the best at its PR. You know, I'm very surprised to see that change. I disagree with it. I think it should stay at the BR that it's at, because if you compare it to a lot of the attack aircraft or bombers at the BR, it's able to do a hell of a lot more in general. The P21 is going from 3.3 to 3.0, same reasoning as the P3s. The Ju-87D5 is going down from 3.3 to 3.02, so they're trying to make that thing a bit more useful. Once again, another one just like the Beaufighter, like back in the day, it had an insane FM, and nowadays, not so much. The Ki 102 Otsu is going down, has a very poor armament, and at the same time, rough twin-engine heavy fighter versus single-engine planes. The H8K3 is going down. It's going up from 3.3 to 3.7. And this might be the one that's on rank 1. One of these ones is, and they need to just be upped when it comes to their rank. And it's not surprised to see the H8s going up. They have really good defensive armament and pretty decent bomb loads. The thing is, they're just super slow, so they can't have a huge impact on the game. I'd just like to thank Professor X 1718, Orange Tail, Sakoshi Tiger, BRFC 15, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe A, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, and then Kyle Kin, Barine, Lafouche, and also Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.